Hello and welcome to a promotional review of the game Sumatra Fate of Yandi, or Yandi, whichever way you want to pronounce it. It's been published by Ratalaika Games and developed by Cloak and Dagger Games, released on the 19th of March 2021 for a price of $5.99. It's a puzzle adventure game, 1 to 2 hour estimated completion time, and I would say it's more like a point and click. You do have aspects of adventure in it throughout. You do have different things you can do throughout the game. So it's got an open world aspect to it. A little later on from the tutorial of the game teaching you how to play it. You play as either Sumatra or Yandi. I'm not entirely sure, or you're in Sumatra or you're in Yandi. I'm not 100% sure on that fact whatsoever. So going from that, you start out here in what seems to be some sort of flashback right at the beginning of the game, and it teaches you the different things that you can do by pressing on objects or items and talking to characters. And you will find yourself then in a jungle, and you have to use different things in the game to progress to the different areas, and you will end up in a sort of little village in the middle of nowhere in the jungle. And in that village then you have to get your axe back in the beginning, and you do that by gaining the trust of the inhabitants of the village by talking to the only guy who even speaks your language. Funny enough, there is one who speaks their language and your language as well, and you talk to them, and once you do that you'll know what you need to do. So there's different things you have to do for them. So one of them is to go and collect a certain flower or collect some water, different things like that, and you gain items and you progress through the game like that. You meet other little characters you have to go find a doll for, and it's very quick and very simple. One of the better point and clicks out there for sure. Graphically, the art style of the game, all pixel based, and it does it really well actually throughout the game, and I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. So I think you start out here by falling down some sort of mountain, and you end up on a log sort of floating down this river, and you wash up on a little shore or coastline somewhere, and once you end up waking up, you can then proceed through the game itself, and you'll see the little town and village, and just start seeing the different screens that you can go through. And in this little town, you'll talk to the characters, and then you go through the different screens, pick up different items, and try and use those items to progress through the game. And it's as simple as that, really. And I think it's about you trying to basically get back home and understand this little village whilst you're there, and just help out some people at the same time as trying to survive without there's no actual sort of enemies or anything in the game. You can't die, I don't believe. You can just find different things laying around, and you pick up those items, and you can use those items on lots of different things. I think some items you have to combine because you have to make a trap which catches a turkey or some sort of bird creature that runs around a little later on, and you use that to get past the tiger in the beginning here. And that's basically as much as I understood of the game. Besides that, the art style, like I said, it's very pixel based, it's very retro, and it does remind me of a point and click adventure, as you do have a cursor that you can move around to maneuver through the different screens and pick up things. So I definitely put it under the point and click genre. It tells you when you've collected a new item, and you talk to different characters, and it's very simplistic. I don't think there's anything you can really miss in the game. I didn't find any sort of secrets or Easter eggs. There's just a very sort of linear path to what you can do. So, like, clicking on things, you just understand different aspects of the game, and then once you understand them, it's just a matter of figuring out the little puzzles around them with the items that you have. And it's as basic as that. So you do have to do a little bit of exploring to gain all of the items that you need to progress in the game. And this tiger that you find here in the beginning does appear 2 other times in the game. One, I think, is right at the end, and one is at the village, I do believe, in which you also help out the people there by doing the same thing you basically do here at the start, which is to throw some sort of bird or creature away from it, so it goes and chases that instead of the people. So you help out them instead, and you gain their trust to walk around their village basically, and then to get your axe back, as I believe they're the ones who sort of capture you in a way. I think they're the ones that you have to end up helping. So once you understand that sort of aspect of the game, it's very simple from there onwards. It's a point and click adventure. It does have a lot of different dialogue. There's no sort of voice lines, I think. It's just sort of character, like animals and just like jungle sound. It's very chill. There's no sort of high intense action or anything, you know, really difficult about the game. It's very unique and really understandable all the way throughout. So the price for this at $5.99 I think is very reasonable and valuable. So if you want to go ahead and pick it up, it's very cheap for what the game has to offer in terms of content. $5.99 seems like a good price for the game, in my opinion. So once you understand all that and you have all the items that you need, you can go ahead and proceed through the different screens in the game, I guess. So it kind of reminds me of some of the old point and clicks, as it's got like sort of a Zelda-esque style, like moving through screens left and right, that it goes to the different areas and then you can do things in those areas, and that's basically it. Some of them do require you to come off of the screen and come back on. There's a part where you have to collect a newspaper and dry it out. And for that, you have to go out of a screen and back into a screen. There's other parts where you have to lay up a trap and things like that, and you have to go out the screen and come back in for it to work. Just simple things like that. And there's also another part, I do believe, with a turtle that you have to open up a little area where it goes down a river, and it can then be used to jump across the river to the other side, where you can knock it over the tree and come back on yourself. But besides that, the game overall I actually really enjoyed, and it's got quite a lot of content for what is there. I would suggest, if you don't really like the point and click styled games, this really wouldn't be for you, as there's a lot of clicking involved, obviously, with a cursor based game. Besides that, I enjoyed it. If you don't really like adventure games or sort of point and click genres, it's not for you. But if you do like the sort of story based games out there that's relatively cheap and relatively quick to complete, if you've got a few hours spare, this is definitely a game I would go ahead and pick up. As it's a really cheap price, as our character is about to pass out, and we will find the natives, who will then send us into a flashback, and then we can wake up from them. I don't know if they're either kidnapping you or helping you. I have no idea, but they do take our axe, so I'm guessing it's a kidnapping. Besides that, I want to thank again Ratalaika Games for providing me a code for this game to review this content on, and besides that, I want to thank you all very much for watching. If you did go ahead and enjoy, go ahead and leave a like and comment down below. I reply to every single comment on all of my videos. So I will see you all in the next one.